Comics. You are all weirdos.
Weird science
is the revolution.
Weird science
is the revolution.
Weird science
is the revolution.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
And welcome back to the Weird Science Comics YouTube channel, where I'm going to be going through and reviewing Blue Beetle Graduation Day #1. And it's kind of a funny deal. I'm not the biggest Blue Beetle fan here at Weird Science Studios. That would be one Eric Shea. Now, Eric Shea at the moment is boycotting all DC Comics reviews. So here I am. And I know enough about Blue Beetle and even know what some of the things that Eric Shea wanted to get from this new series and things that I wanted as well. And while it looked like we might finally get what we wanted, it's amazing because that rarely happens. Things took a turn by the end. Is that a good thing? Let's find out. But before we do that, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tell me what you think of this issue in the comments below. So, from the get-go, this book, Blue Beetle Graduation Day #1, did have some really good energy. Adrian Gutierrez art pops off the page with the help of Will Quintana's colors, and I did really like Josh Trujillo's fast-paced start. One of the things that both me and Eric were hoping for was that Jaime would actually be able to understand and talk to his scarab, Kajida. It gets annoying when he can't talk to the scarab, when the scarab is talking in Reach, and you don't know what's happening. I like that back and forth, that interaction between the scarab and Jaime. And at first you get it, and it's fun. But it kind of goes downhill from there, because as the issue progresses, Jaime talks to himself about the scarab not working well lately, and that kind of shoots red flags all over. And then the whole talking to the scarab bit goes out the window after a Reach transmission causes Kajida to start talking in Reach, a thing that I hated in previous series. Now you end up, Jaime, come on, scarab, come on, Kajida, what's going on? And it's just, you don't know what it's saying. That really lessens the fun factor of everything going on. And that's what I want from this Blue Beetle book. I want a lot of fun. The character can be so much fun. And I think at least give us one issue of that. But it does lessen it. And that seems to be the order of the day for this whole issue. Because after messing up his graduation, Jaime gets a talking to from Superman. He goes back home and Superman's hanging out at his graduation party, says, I got to talk to you, and basically says, me and Batman decided you are grounded from superheroing right now. Again, lessening the fun. But I know he's going to go against it, but still, why set this up? And the reason why is that Superman says there's going to be a Reach invasion, something you kind of would expect in a Blue Beetle book. And they think that maybe he's not up to par to go against this Reach invasion after doing so much in Dark Crisis, and even having an editor's note kind of deal of saying, man, he did really good in Lazarus Planet. That's not happening for a couple months, which really, grinds my gears at points. I don't need editor's notes for something that's months away. Please. But again, I said it, Jaime's going to go against this edict, but why handcuff your hero immediately? You already now have done two things in this book that throw me out of having fun. And I just want to have fun. Jimmy wants to have fun. Plus, I'm not a real big fan of Superman and then Batman showing up in this issue. You end up having the Blue Beetle book. It's tough enough to get Jaime that, the whole spotlight. And then in his own book, he has Batman and Superman come in. And if Batman and Superman are in a book, they're going to end up taking the focus off of a Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle. So it just throws the focus off, and it was a head scratcher. Why do this all in the first issue? But that's not all. It's almost like I'm a sham wow. That's not all, because when you end up going forward and getting near the end, then he's told by his mom and dad, since he doesn't want to go off to university, he's got to go live with his aunts. That ends up changing the venue before we even get to settle down and see what his usual normal is, to then get thrown off to there. It's just a quick read, but it's very disappointing. It was very, very disappointing for me. It did have a pretty cool cliffhanger. And on the regular podcast, me and Eric will be talking about the whole series. So we'll still be doing that. It's just, I wanted this to be so exciting. Oh my God, this is great. Especially me reviewing it here. I wanted to be able to get done the review and then get a hold of Eric and tell him, oh man, it's awesome. You're going to love it. Can't do that, unfortunately. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Like I said, I really do like the art. Now, there's a little aside, and I was debating on whether or not to talk about this because I don't want it to sound hateful. But there are a couple pages in this book where you get complete dialogue, panel after panel, bunch of panels in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. Now, I know there's ways to translate whatnot, none of which I have or know how to use. So in that, I'm not going to be reading a comic and then going over to Google Translate and typing things in. Again, you can tell me I could get this app, all that, but I'm reading a comic. I don't want to be pulled out of that comic by that. I understand why they ended up doing it. I just don't get the deal. And that is just a little bit of an aside. I'm not going to end up, giving it more or less of a score because of that. It just, again, was a head scratcher. Why pull people up? Because not everybody at every step of the way. You might be reading this in print on the bus. You're not going to be able to translate that sort of thing. I just wondered why. Usually what you'll do is designate this is in Spanish, but have it in English. And as an aside, I end up getting the DC review copies, and they legit have a Spanish language version of the issue, which is really cool for people who speak Spanish. But I wonder why they did that in the regular deal. But there you go. I don't want it to sound hateful, though. It's not hateful, please. But after all that, again, 6 out of 10 from me. And thanks everyone for watching. And please let me know what you thought in the comments below. And make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel as always. But that is that. A little bit disappointing, but we'll see if it can rebound next issue. All right, that is it, and I'll talk to you later.
Go read comics. You are all weirdos.
Weird science
It's the revolution.
Weird science
It's the revolution.
Weird science
It's the revolution.